What's up, guys? Today we're going to find out how correct or wrong was I when I predicted the tier lists for Phase 1 and Phase 2 of Wrath of the Lich King Classic. I've got a side-by-side comparison of Naxxramas. Actually, this is a video I did. DPS rankings by tier. We're just going to look at Naxxramas and Ulduar. We can take a sneak peek at TOC depending on how accurate I am with Nax and Ulduar. And on the right hand side, I've got the actual overall damage logs. This is like aggregated data. Find out exactly how correct I was. Let's hop right into it. So on S tier, which we'll just say is like the top 5, right? I predicted over a year ago Assassination, Frost DK, Affliction Warlock, Arcane Mage, and Demonology Warlock. The reasons for this I say in this video, but summarized, Assassination Rogue has fantastic AoE. I was talking about Fan of Knives. They have ridiculous AoE capability, fantastic damage, particularly because I believe they play in Venom. You don't need armor penetration early on. And you don't, because there's no gear with armor penetration early on, and that's when combat will get good later on. Like Assassination and combat like switch spots later. That's my understanding of that dynamic. I thought Frost would do really well because of all the AoE, but we actually see here Frost is more, I'd say, like B tier actually. I was correct about Assassination, so I get a point there. Assassination is definitely S tier. We can see them in the 4th slot, and of the top 5 being S tier, that means I was correct about Assassination rogues. Definitely wrong about Frost. I thought they'd be S tier. They're more B tier. When it comes to Affliction, yep, definitely spot on there. Affliction Warlocks are crazy. Definitely one of the best classes. I think this was pretty widely known. I think most people knew, and I'm pretty sure I even rank them as like overall one of the best classes you can play in Wrath of the Lich King for both PvP and PvE to play a Warlock. So Affliction Warlock was correct there. Arcane Mage I thought would do very well, but actually I would say they're A tier here because this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would say, yeah, they kind of fall into the A tier. I ranked them as S tier. I think Arcane Mages kind of depends on the length of the fight. It's really going to determine their damage. And it looks like they fell a little bit shorter than what I had predicted. Demonology Warlock was my other prediction, and was spot on there for S tier. We see Demonology Warlock was pretty much ranked number 3 in overall damage. Unholy Death Knight really blew everyone out of the water. You can see here, like, Unholy Death Knight is really the top DPS, and we all know they just got nerfed. It was really the gargoyle pet that was just dominating. It was doing their damage for them while they just chilled, right? I mean, that gargoyle was ridiculous because of how everyone just exploited the haste mechanic, the snapshotting. And, everyone kind of played a different Unholy build than they did back in the day. A lot of Unholy Death Knights back in the day, I think, ran with the typical Scourge Strike, two-hander build. And I think this time around, Unholy Death Knight was really played differently. It was kind of like the Morbid DK, right? You get morbidity, you get, that different set of abilities. And I think that has done very well. Especially with that gargoyle snapshotting. I think gargoyles were just played differently this time around. Unholy Death Knights were played differently this time around. So overall, I would say, we can just look at it. I was correct with Assassination, correct with Affliction, correct with Demonology. 3 out of 5, not bad. I would say not bad at all. Decent predictions in terms of performance. If we look at A tier, Marksmanship, Unholy, Shadow, Survival, Balance. Balance definitely fell into B tier in terms of rankings here. Well, probably just barely. Survival Hunter, did that? Let's see, 1, 2. Yeah, I was correct about Survival Hunter being kind of like an A tier. I knew Hunters were basically middle of the road most of the expansion, so was right there. Marksman fell lower than A tier, I would say, so it was incorrect there. Shadow also fell low. Where did Balance fall? Let's see. This is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so Balance actually did fall in A tier. So I was correct only 2 out of 5 when it comes to the A tier in my sort of like, each tier is like 5 classes. But pretty decent there. Retribution fell pretty low for moving on to the B tier. Combat did way better than I thought, actually. It's almost like they're almost indistinguishable, quite frankly. Assassination and Combat, they're both quite good. Let's see, Arms was way lower than I thought. I was putting them in B tier. Here's a big one. Enhance did fantastic. I thought Enhance would have done much more poorly. However, I was looking at Enhanced Shaman, not Spell-Enhanced Shaman, And I think I think this right here is Spell Hands. I think we're not going to see this at all in Ulduar. I think Naxxramas was a special scenario there for the Spell Hands Shaman. I mean, we'll see though. These are all just predictions. I actually had DPS meters I was looking at when I was putting these together and comparing it. So I mean, this was 2009, 2010 data I was looking at. And the game's just played differently now. And I think I actually did also, though, look at some war main logs as well when putting this together. But I would give my tier list, and you guys let me know in the comments section what you think. I'd give my tier list 7 out of 10. I'll be a little more critical than, I mean, 3 out of 5 is a 6 out of 10. So I'll do 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10, which is it's just being fair. Okay, so let's take a look at the Ulduar tier list now, or the Ulduar DPS logs, and we're going to fast forward my video here to Ulduar. Okay, so I thought Feral would have been ridiculous in Ulduar. Truly, I believed it. They're down there so far. And by the way, guys, once everyone's geared, this could very well change. So this is just the beginning of tier 8 Ulduar. So let's just see here. So I predicted Affliction, Demonology, or S tier. Boom, boom, 2 for 2 so far. I also thought Assassination and Combat would both be S tier. However, Assassination's barely at A tier, kind of in the way I'm calculating it. So I would say I'm incorrect there for those two. Combat Rogue so far is really falling below the damage meters than phase 1. So Combat really fell off so far in Ulduar. And then Feral is very low. Not nearly S tier at all. Don't know why I thought so. You know, I really thought that Feral just had really good AoE. You know, with Swipe being in cat form, I really thought Feral would have done better. I mean, Balance has fantastic AoE as well with Starfall. Maybe we'll see Feral do better in the future once they get more gear. But so far for Ulduar, I only got 2 out of 5 correct with the two Warlocks. Again, kind of a known fact that Warlocks are just great in this expansion. Fire's down here. Fire and Arcane are both B tier, but Fire Mage is doing fantastic in Ulduar. And Frost Death Knight is definitely going to shine over Unholy after these nerfs. I would say, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Damn it. Wait, yeah, so I'd say both Frost and Unholy Death Knight fell into S tier. I was kind of close putting them in A tier, but definitely S tier here in Ulduar. What else fell into A tier? Survival Hunter, yep, I was correct about that. Enhance is doing better than I thought. Balance it looks like A tier as well, so I was correct there. Shadow Priest, this is B tier, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's A tier. Elemental fell into B, which is, I was correct in terms of that. Let's see, Arcane actually did fall into B tier. It looks like my B tier predictions are looking pretty good so far. Elemental Shaman, Arcane Mage. I thought Subtlety would be worse, and I thought Combat would be better. So overall, my Ulduar predictions not as good, but it has not yet solidified yet. This is not actually the end of the phase. This is just, this is honestly what, 2 weeks of data, not even. So we're still gonna have to see how this turns out. But so far, I'm not looking. It's not looking good. 2 out of 5 for S tier, 2 out of 5 for A tier, and 2 out of 6 for both A and B tier. So my predictions aren't super great so far for Ulduar. We're just going to have to see how that turns out. Again, this is just the beginning of the phase, and things can be totally shaken up, but Warlocks are definitely dominating, and Death Knights are still quite great even after that Gargoyle nerf. And we're just going to have to see how the damage meters pan out in the future. If you guys like this video, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe for more. Take care.